Okay, guys, we're alive. I was going on thinking we were live and I hadn't hit the button. So now we are live. Sorry about that. And like I always say, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Mobile Geezer, which you know if you're watching on YouTube, but you might be watching on either one of my Facebook IDs, Mobile Geezer or George Hayes. So as we do every week, I get a few articles and I try to find stuff to be interesting to other people who are into tech like I am. And if there's a big article that week or a big presentation, I go over that. Don't think there was this week, but as always, if I'm wrong, correct me. So let's go to, meanwhile, if you look at the QR code here, that'll take you to my website with the show notes just for tonight, which we will go and see now. So I'm going to share screen. Okay. And we've got Alan in here. Hey, phone tech at work. Alan, how you doing? Alan's from Jersey City, from the same county where Eleanor and I were originally from in Jersey. Glad to see you still streaming. Yep, still streaming on Fridays, Alan. Glad you're here, as always. Grateful that you had time to stop by, because I know how busy you are. Okay, over to my webpage. So if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, just click on today's date. You'll get the show notes just for tonight's show. And as I do every week, I'll give you a little preview of what we're going to see. And same to you, Alan. Okay, a little preview. First one I found interesting. Apple takes a Google AI executive to replace ousted Apple Intelligence head. Found that on Cult of Mac. So we'll take a look at that first. Most of these articles tonight are short, so it'll be a quick night. And Ted has not contacted, so don't think he'll be joining us. If he does, he'll just pop in. Yeah, Alan's in Hudson County. That's where Eleanor and myself are also from. That's where we were raised, Hudson County, New Jersey, directly across the river from Manhattan. And here's Ellie. Hi, Ellie. Glad you're here. Hoping you all had a good week. I am back home in the snow. I guess she's up in New York State, so it's probably snowing up there. We've had rain here, but so far in Chattanooga, no snow, thank goodness. So that'll be the first story we'll check out. Apple is trying with hiring new executives. All right, then we'll go over this one I just found interesting. A Best Buy customer orders a GPU and receives rocks, literal rocks, instead. Found that on Tom's Hardware. Again, short story. Then I just said, Amazon, I should have said you want it in 30 minutes. You got it. Found the story on Digital Trends. So they're getting orders to people faster, at least that's what they're testing out. Then, the big story of the week, actually, the Galaxy Z Trifold is official. So I think it's official in South Korea and soon will be official other places. But you can see it actually is 3 screens here. So we'll take a look at that story. I think that's the longest story I have tonight. Not that long. Then I just said the pressure is on the ChatGPT staff as Google, Anthropic, etc. close in. So they're putting some heat on ChatGPT. Then I said, do you slow to see what the police activity is? This Waymo robotaxi did. Nothing happened with it, but it just happened to come across some police activity. So I just thought it was interesting. Found it on NBC News. This happened in LA, by the way. And finally, an Amazon story. Amazon says no to ChatGPT's shopping agent. They're not letting ChatGPT use their shopping agent on Amazon. So, again, just an interesting story. So that's what we'll go over for tonight. Like I said, sorry for the late start. I just didn't hit the live button on time. All right, back to the first story. If Ted comes in, I'll certainly let you guys know. Or if by some miracle, Will or Mike come in. Other than that, it'll be a quick night with just me. So Apple takes a Google AI executive to replace ousted Apple Intelligence head, founded on Cult of Mac. So let's go take a look. And technically, the guy they hired came from Microsoft, but he was there a short time. He was a years and years Googler, as you'll see. Apple, get it over here. Okay. Apple replaces AI chief, taps ex-Googler to fix Apple Intelligence. This is from December 1st, Monday, by Ed Hardy. Let's drop it into Reader View and get rid of these ads. John Giannandrea, the man responsible for making Apple Intelligence what it is today, is out. It's an expected change as senior management reportedly didn't think Giannandrea could provide the leadership needed to develop critical AI products. Apple Subramanya, who Apple poached from Microsoft, will replace Giannandrea. Prior to his short stint at Microsoft, Subramanya spent many years at Google, most recently as head of engineering for the Gemini AI chatbot. And since Gemini keeps getting better and better, and with the Gemini 3 update from last week, a lot of people are saying it is now better than all the others. I have not tried the Gemini 3 Pro because I would have to pay for it, which I'm not going to do. But I do tend to use Gemini way more than anybody else, anything else. Apple's AI chief steps down after a string of failures. There's an understatement. Apple faces mounting pressure in the AI race as it gets left behind by Google, OpenAI, and Microsoft. There's Alan. Glad you're here. We got Alan in here from Jersey City and Ellie in here, and now you. We're very grateful for it. Its Apple Intelligence initiative promised personalized on-device AI, but mostly remains just that, a promise. It debuted in the fall of 2024 with limited device compatibility, minimal features, and questions about reliability. Meanwhile, Apple significantly postponed the highly anticipated revamp of its Siri voice assistant, yeah, we know, now expected in spring. I think this should say 2026. But I'm already seeing videos that it might be 2027 before it happens. So we might be in for more hesitation and a longer wait. Much of the blame for the problems landed at the feet of John Giannandrea. In the spring, Apple replaced him, they demoted him last spring, as head of the project to develop the AI-enhanced version of Siri after CEO Tim Cook reportedly lost confidence in him. And you got to give Tim Cook credit. He gave the guy plenty of time to succeed, which he never did. Okay. Apple brings in fresh leadership to overhaul Apple Intelligence. AI researcher Amar Subramanya joined Apple as Vice President of AI on Monday, reporting to Craig Federighi. He'll be responsible for Apple Foundation models, ML research, and AI safety and evaluation. Most recently, Subramanya worked as Vice President of AI at Microsoft, a position he'd held only since July. Previously, he spent 16 years at Google. His last post was VP of Engineering for Gemini, the company's world-class AI tool, which tells you he must have been pretty good at what he did. Because a lot of people are saying the new version is the best there is. AI has long been central to Apple's strategy, and we are pleased to welcome Amar to Craig's leadership team and to bring his extraordinary AI expertise to Apple, said Cook in a press release Monday announcing Giannandrea's retirement. Subramanya will not take over development of the AI-enhanced Siri. It seems Mike Rockwell will continue in the role he's held since it was taken from Gianandrea in the spring. So he's the guy who took over after Gianandrea was demoted. So Cook seems to really give people a chance to succeed. Plus, Cook emphasized Federighi's central role in Apple's AI efforts on Monday's statement. In addition to growing his leadership team and AI responsibilities with Amos joining, Craig has been instrumental in driving our AI efforts, including overseeing our work to bring a more personalized Siri to users next year, or maybe the year after we're hearing now, so we'll see, remarked Apple's CEO. So, just an interesting story to start with, and at least we know Apple is trying to get in the right people to try to get it done. But they've had nothing but issues, and they're way behind everybody else. All right, nothing else new in the comments. This one I just found kind of interesting, kind of funny, I guess, unless you're the customer. A Best Buy customer orders a GPU and receives rocks, literally rocks, instead. Found the story on Tom's Hardware. Again, I think this is also from, this is from 2 days ago. Okay. Customer buys RTX 5080 from Best Buy, but got rocks instead. $1,200 GPU arrived in tampered box with a broken seal by Hassam Nasir, published 2 days ago. ASRock, get that, ASRock RTX 580, literally. So I guess this is what it should have looked like. Yeah, that's what it should have looked like. That's what they ordered. So, let's drop into review, get rid of the ads. We've seen our fair share of GPU scams around here, with unlucky buyers receiving all sorts of fascinating oddities like rice and macaroni, or even a literal brick in lieu of the card they actually ordered. It's a tale as old as time, and unfortunately, another Redditor has been shrouded in this narrative. After waiting for a while for GPU prices to come down, our victim finally bit the bullet, only to find sediment, and not the kind that makes silicon. Opening up the box only confirmed the suspicion, as our victim found literal rocks sitting where the GPU was supposed to be. If you're getting some deja vu reading all this, it's because scams like these have become increasingly commonplace. Didn't know that. And bad actors have learned to fool automated systems that detect weight, so it seems weight is the key, and even humans, by simply faking the heft of the package. By the time someone checks it, it's already too late, so customer support is the last resort. See, we have a picture. Let's see if I drop it out, just make sure you guys see the picture again. So, that's all what it should have looked like. So go back to over here to mine, and that's what they actually unpacked, those rocks that was in the package. All right, back to review. Okay. Unfortunately for our unlucky buyer here, even Best Buy support teams turned them down, saying they couldn't do anything about it. That's rough. And that a refund was not possible after conducting an investigation. So I guess they didn't suspect anything either, and they just sent it out. Comments suggested taking the matter to social media and blasting Best Buy with hashtags, while others reminded, I guess it's the customer, you are dead, of the importance of recording unboxings so that you have conclusive evidence in case of any claims like this. Right now, it's a sort of your word against mine situation. The best plan of action in the thread was the credit card chargeback. Yeah, that makes sense. Asking the bank to reverse the transaction after filing a billing dispute is a pretty surefire way of getting your money back. Yes, you would think so. We sincerely hope the victim gets a refund, and for everyone reading, let this serve as a reminder of how unreliable customer protection systems can be at major retailers. Like we always say, remain vigilant until due process takes its course. Yeah, but vigilance wouldn't have helped him or her or them, because they didn't find out about it till it got there. And remember that nothing scares these companies more than bad PR. Well, that's probably true. Like I said, short articles tonight, except for one, so very quick stuff here. And there's Annie. Glad you dropped by, Annie. Always grateful to have you here. Okay. Nothing else new, I don't think, in the comments. No, yeah. So, on to our next story, another short one. I just said, you'll see my in should have been in it. I said, Amazon, you won in 30 minutes? You got it. Found this on Digital Trends. Like I said, they're experimenting in 2 cities right now, but we're talking really fast delivery. So, Amazon plans to deliver orders faster than you can fix a sandwich. Amazon now offers near instant delivery, starting with these 2 U.S. cities. And it's by Monique Powell, again, December 1st. So let's go to review. This happened yesterday. Sometimes you click read review and it doesn't take right away. Yesterday when I did it, took the second time. Let's see if it works this time. Okay, I'm going to try once more, then I'll try the other review. All right, we'll go with the dark one. There we go. Amazon now offers near instant delivery, starting with these 2 U.S. cities. I read that already, didn't I? Amazon just cranked up the speed, I should say, of online shopping with the launch of Amazon Now, a new service designed to drop off essentials in about 30 minutes. Now that's quick. It quietly flipped the switch in parts of Seattle and Philadelphia, so those are the first 2 cities, marking its boldest move yet into the instant delivery game. We're talking thousands of items, milk, eggs, chargers, cold medicine, delivered almost instantly. Prime members, which I know I was for years, I quit last year, and I'm not really missing it much. Prime members get a break with fees starting at $3.99, so even Prime members have to pay $4. But if you aren't a member, you're looking at a steep $13.99 delivery charge. So Prime members $4, everybody else $14. Plus, there's a small fee of $1.99 if your order is under $15. To pull this off, Amazon didn't just speed up its vans, it built entirely new, smaller warehouses right near neighborhoods. So they're serious about this. It's a whole new layer of speed on top of its usual massive network. Why this matters and what it means for customers. This is Amazon taking a direct shot at Instacart, GoPuff, and DoorDash. These companies have struggled to make superfast delivery profitable nationwide, yet they don't make much money, if they make money at all. But Amazon has the infrastructure to potentially make it work. It's also a strategic play to make your Prime subscription feel indispensable again. By shrinking delivery times to 30 minutes, Amazon isn't just competing, it's trying to reset customer expectations entirely. If it can deliver a charger before your phone dies, that's a powerful hook. Yeah, well, that would be, that's true. Why you should care. For you, this means oh no, I forgot the insert item, panic is over. Whether it is diapers, toothpaste, or a missing dinner ingredient, you can get it faster than a pizza order. But there's a catch. Coverage is limited right now, and the costs add up fast if you aren't on Prime. Well, that's true, at $14 a pop. It's also shaking up the industry behind the scenes, with Amazon reportedly asking brands to figure out which products fit best in this new hyperfast pipeline. What's next? Amazon hasn't dropped a full roadmap yet, but the hiring pattern suggests more sittings are coming, so I guess they're hiring people in other cities, and it's kind of obvious. It's currently testing the waters to see if we actually want stuff this fast. Yeah, that could be that people won't want this, even Prime members, we don't know. If we do want the stuff this fast, Amazon Now could become the new standard for Prime, forcing every other delivery app to scramble just to keep up. I can see where that would put a lot of pressure on others. So, that's the author. Like I said, short ones today, but that's interesting. 30 minutes after you order it, you've got it. So, right now what I consider the biggie of the week. The Galaxy Z Trifold is official. Got this on Tech Radar. Samsung unveils the Galaxy Z Trifold, a foldable that lives up to its name, by Lance Ulanoff, published December 1st. So came out on Monday. The Trifold era is here. Into review. The rumors were all true. The Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold, possibly the most anticipated and talked about smartphone, aside from the Apple iPhone, is real and ships this month, but the devil is in the details. Samsung announced on Monday evening, December 1st, that it's launching its first Trifold Galaxy phone this month in South Korea, so it's officially December 12th in South Korea, and then it will come to the U.S. in the first quarter of 2026. No word on UK and AU availability. A lot of new technology. So looking at it from that, it looks like any other Samsung phone, or maybe the foldable. In general, though, it sounds like an engineering marvel with two different hinge styles. That's kind of impressive. One has to be wider to fold the third section over the other two. That makes sense. Samsung says the dual rail structure titanium hinges work in harmony. One wonders if the unfolding of one necessitates the unfolding of the other, meaning you can't just have a 2/3 screen. It's likely either the small 6.5-inch cover or you access the full 10-inch tablet, but they're not sure either way. The Armor aluminum frame is designed to keep a portion of the 10-inch display from touching another part of it, preventing wear, that's good, preventing wear, tear, and damage. There's also a special reinforced overcoat to help protect the flexible screen. So that's what you can see all three screens there. Triple camera system for the Trifold. On the outside is the cover screen, bookended by ceramic back fiber reinforced polymer panels. The left side houses the sizable tri-camera bump featuring a 200 megapixel wide angle, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, 120 degree, and a 10 megapixel 3x optical zoom. Do we see that here? You have to see it from the back. Let's see if I can go up. Okay, yeah. Like I said, from there it looks like a lot of other Samsung phones. There's also a 10 megapixel selfie camera cutout on the cover screen and another 10 megapixel selfie camera cutout on a 10-inch flexible display. This is essentially the same camera array as the Z Fold 7, though we do not know much about the image sensors behind the lenses. Even more so than the 8-inch display you won't get when you even more so than the 8-inch display you get when you unfold the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, this 10-inch trifold sounds like it was designed for work. Samsung is touting the built-in DeX support and multitasking. The system will support up to 4 workspaces and 5 apps each. Now, I read this far yesterday when I was putting this together, and I'm like, this is going to cost a lot of money, and it will. Alternatively, the unfolded display could be used like 3 connected 6.5-inch smartphones, but ones where you could easily drag and drop between running apps. It makes sense. Naturally, this will also be a pocket movie display for apps like Netflix and YouTube. Yeah, 10 inches, that's pretty good. The only thing that might be missing is a kickstand. The Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold may be well equipped to handle an MCU-like movie or a long streaming event. It has a 5600 milliamp battery spread across 3 segments. Let's get another good look at it here. Okay. And gaming on the big screen is likely to be a thing. Under the hood, the Z Trifold will be running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Elite mobile platform for Galaxy, which means the 3nm chip is probably overclocked just a bit for this trifold device. Supporting that SoC will be 16 gigabytes of RAM and to start by 12 gigabytes of storage. A 1 terabyte model will be available, I guess you should say, for the Z Trifold. What we do not know is the price. Most rumors put it at $3,000 to $3,500, which makes sense because the Huawei Trifold is $3,000, which seems like a safe bet when you consider the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 starts at $2,000. Though back Friday, Cyber Mondays have been seeing considerable discounts. That's good. A Samsung surprise. Look how thin that thing is. I think it says it's even thinner than the Z Fold 7 and the Edge. So this thing is seriously thin. It's unusual for Samsung to reveal so much with so little fanfare. Perhaps it's because the Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold is still months away from a US release, that's true, possibly longer in the UK and Australia, and Samsung wants to use its hometown as a sort of big test kitchen for the new device. The announcement, though, does raise the question of how the Z Trifold launch will factor into what is expected to be the Galaxy S26 line launch. And remember, that's probably going to be February, maybe late January, but not as early as last year. Most people expect that to happen late January or early February 2026. Perhaps the big coming out party for the Z Trifold will coincide with Samsung's big anticipated X26 lineup reveal. That would make sense to me. The only strange part of that scenario is that the one triple fold phone is separated from what should be the launch of its folding cousins, the Z Fold 8 and Z Flip 8, sometime in mid-2026. That's true. They always come out in the summer. All will be revealed soon enough. In the meantime, we can't wait to learn when we can touch and try out the Samsung Galaxy Z Trifold and just how much it's going to cost us. Now, if you guys that follow me, you know I haven't been buying the expensive phones this year at all, really. And I won't be getting this one because as far as my big folding phone, I still have my OnePlus Open, and I'm still very, very happy with that. So, but some people are going to be excited when this comes out in the U.S., that's for sure. So I think that's my longest story of the night, and nothing else new in the comments, so we will go on. Like I said, three short stories, I believe. The pressure is on the ChatGPT staff as Google, Anthropic, etc. close in. Got this one on The Verge. OpenAI declares code red as Google catches up in AI race. Google's own code red response to ChatGPT has started paying off. I should put, and it came out on December 2nd, so Tuesday, by Robert Hart. So let's go into review. Gotta get rid of this first, I think. Yeah, let's try review. There we go. The tides are turning in the AI race, and the pressure is getting to OpenAI. Chief Executive Sam Altman reportedly declared a code red on Monday, urging staff to improve its flagship product, ChatGPT, an indicator that the startup's once unassailable lead is eroding as competitors like Google and Anthropic close in. In the memo, reported by the Wall Street Journal and The Information, Altman said the company will be delaying initiatives like ads, shopping and health agents, and a personal assistant, Pulse, to focus on improving ChatGPT. This includes core features like greater speed and reliability, better personalization, and the ability to answer more questions. He said, there will be a daily call, so you know it's important when there's a daily call, for those tasked with improving the chatbot, the memo said, and Altman encouraged temporary team transfer to speed up development. And I can tell you, with all my years of programming and developing, when you start trying to speed things up, that's when you kind of open yourself up for more problems, but it can be done. You just got to be much more careful when you're trying to work faster. The newfound urgency illustrates an inflection point for OpenAI as it spends hundreds of billions of dollars to fund growth and figures out a path to future profitability. And remember, we had articles about the bubble. A lot of people are still expecting this bubble with AI to burst, so don't be surprised. It is also something of a full circle movement in the AI race. Google, which declared its own code red after the arrival of ChatGPT, is a particular concern. Yeah, because Google is kind of leading right now. Google's AI user base is growing, helped by the success of popular tools like the Nano Banana image model, and I showed you a few examples of that, which is pretty cool, and its latest AI model, Gemini 3. Now, that came out last week, and I'm not paying for that, but people are raving about it. Blew past its competitors on many industry benchmarks and popular metrics. So, ChatGPT has serious competition now, and Sam Altman knows it. So, Hilly said, what could go wrong? Yeah, rushing programming never hurts anything, right? Anyway, like I said, it can be done. But I can tell you, in my 34 years, the best project that I ever worked on, I think the biggest project I ever worked on, was hundreds of people programming for the FBI. The FBI criminal database that they look at now, I worked on that back in 1999 and 2000. And everything was done very slow, but boy, when we turned it over, they had a year at the FBI to test it out. Well, they could find, I think they found 3 small examples of problem in the entire year they tested it. So, yes, programming fast can be done right, but you're better off going slow and doing things by the book. And on that project, not only did we have hundreds of us, and we were all subcontractors to the FBI, but they had 15 programmers in their own room or hallway that worked for the FBI who checked every single bit of our code. And if something was wrong when they saw it, they sent it back and it came back right. So doing it by the book, I still think works best. Okay, Waymo. Do you slow to see what the police activity is? This Waymo robo-taxi did. That's how I read the story. So let's go take a look at ABC. I just thought this was kind of a cool story. Because when I got through it, I'm like, well, so this robo-taxi just slowed down to look like everybody else does. Driverless Waymo vehicle goes through tense police stop in L.A. So it wasn't in the police stop. It was just kind of passing by. Video shows the Waymo passing a white pickup pulled over in Los Angeles by several police cruisers with the lights flashing as the suspected driver lies on the ground. And you can see all of that right here. There's the driver and this robo-taxi just happened to pull in this, and I guess the cameras just picked everything up. But they had some kind of police chase with this driver, and they had their guns out on the guy and everything. And the robo-taxi just happened to show up. I just thought it was a cool story. So this was on Tuesday, December 2nd, by Andrew Blankstein and Corky Simasco. It's the best I can do. Sorry, folks, if I butchered it. All right, Los Angeles. This trip was way more dangerous. Get it? Way more dangerous? Sounds like my kind of humor. Then it needed to me. I love that. All right, let's drop it to read a view. Way more dangerous. That is definitely my humor. The robo-taxi operated by Waymo was driven just a few feet away from a Los Angeles police felony stop downtown following a vehicle chase early Sunday. A brief brush with danger that was caught on video by incredulous onlookers, so they must have got that from one of the onlookers, and ended with nobody hurt according to video and police. That's good. It's interesting, though. The driverless vehicle could be seen in the video making a left turn and passing a white truck pulled over at the corner by several police cruisers with their lights flashing. The suspected driver was face down on the street at the time the video showed. Immediately, police officers could be heard yelling at the vehicle to get away. But instead of splitting, the Waymo appeared to slow down briefly and signal it was turning right. Go to your left, go to your left. The police officer was heard yelling at the wayward Waymo. Go through. Meanwhile, the man on the ground looked up to see what was going on. Police are then seen in the video approaching him with their weapons drawn. The Los Angeles Police Department said the incident took place about 3:40 a.m. at Broadway and First outside Times Mirror Square in downtown's Federal Courthouse. So it must be outside the Los Angeles Times building somewhere. I don't know LA, so. The department said the vehicle's proximity and failure to avoid passing the guns-drawn traffic stop did not influence officer tactics. Yeah, I guess they didn't shoot it. It said police subsequently shut down the intersection temporarily, as is customary for such a situation. LAPD's Traffic Coordination Division develops protocols and policies regarding driverless vehicles. It's not clear whether it would investigate. The police department said the division is in regular contact with Waymo as the technology evolves. And I believe Waymo's been operating robotaxis in I think about 2 years. I think about the same as it does in San Francisco. Really saying, imagine how the Waymo passenger felt at that moment. Yeah, that's probably true. I was thinking about it. I was sitting there, what could you do but just sit there and watch and keep your mouth shut? And I assume that's what that passenger did. But the good part is, Waymo said the entire encounter lasted barely 15 seconds, so that's good. Safety is our highest priority at Waymo, both for the people who choose to ride with us and with whom we share the streets. And I gather they've been successfully picking up people driverlessly for a couple of years in both San Francisco and LA, so I gather they've done pretty good, better than I guess the Teslas are doing. Safety-wise, I mean. A Waymo spokesperson said, when we encounter unusual events like this, when we learn from them as we continue improving road safety and operating in dynamic cities. Yeah, I would think you could probably put something in there so that it would be alerted and then it would pick up the cops telling it to turn left and somebody, monitoring would be alerted. I would hope that you could do something like that. Waymo is owned by Google's parent company, Alphabet. It currently operates in Los Angeles, the San Francisco Bay Area, and Phoenix. I forgot it operates in Phoenix, too. According to its website, it is expanding to Miami and Orlando, Florida, Dallas, Houston, San Antonio, San Diego, Las Vegas, and Detroit. And I think we had a story about it coming to those cities a couple of weeks ago. In July, the company said it had passed more than 100 million miles without a human behind the wheel and not one fatality. Yeah, Waymo has been way more successful at this than Tesla or anybody else as far as safety goes. But there have been several snafus since the service opened to the public in November 2024. So it's only been a year, okay. And the company has gotten some unwanted attention 5 Waymo vehicles were torched in June by anti-ICE protesters. I remember reading about that in Los Angeles. In July, a cyber prankster reportedly sent 50 driverless Waymo vehicles down a dead-end street in San Francisco. Well, that wasn't good. Another incident that went viral. Then in September, police in San Francisco suburb of San Bruno were conducting a DUI operation when a self-driving Waymo made an illegal turn in front of them. The police were unable to give anybody a ticket because, well, there was nobody to ticket. But they contacted the company with promise to fix the glitch. That's good. In November, Waymo announced it would begin offering rides on freeways after having previously limited its robo-taxis to city streets. So, very interesting story, and like Ellie said, it must have been pretty interesting for the passenger. But 15 seconds, that's not bad. All right, nothing else new, so my last story. Amazon says no to ChatGPT's shopping agent. Again, I found this on Tech Radar. Amazon blocks ChatGPT's new shopping agent. What the fallout could mean for you. Written by Graham Barlow, and this was published last week, November 27th. So this was published on Thanksgiving, actually. AI shopping assistants are rising fast, but Amazon is pushing back. So into read review we go. There we go. The way we shop online is on the cusp of changing for good. This week, 2 AI agents, ChatGPT Shopping Research and Perplexity's new shopping assistant, arrived to do all the bargain hunting for you. They can compare prices, check reviews, and pick the best options while you get on with something else. Just as this future started taking shape, however, Amazon slammed the door by blocking ChatGPT from accessing its website. The world's biggest retailer has kicked off a fight over who gets to shape what you see and what you can buy online. I can see where this would take some figuring it out for them, because on one hand it might cost them money, but blocking it will probably cost them money too. If you're planning to rely on AI to help you with your deal hunting, this matters more than it might seem. Amazon first. Some people love diving into every spec and price comparison before they buy anything online. Get a little quick swig of my Coke. Sorry about that. Okay. I'm not one of them. I hate shopping. I want to find what I need at a price that feels reasonable and move on with my day. Yeah, I'm kind of like that. That's why I use Amazon. It's quick, reliable, and familiar. And I know I'm not the only one who does this, which is exactly why Amazon sees ChatGPT entering the shopping space as a threat. Well, sure they would. If people start their shopping journey with AI search agents instead, Amazon risks losing its place as the default starting point. This week, after ChatGPT introduced shopping research, Amazon updated its robots.txt file to stop ChatGPT's agents from scraping its site for data. Yeah, that'd be easy to program for. The result, ChatGPT can no longer read Amazon product pages, prices, specs, or reviews. In my view, Amazon's decision to block OpenAI's crawlers is the logical move in a technology clash between a dominant retail ecosystem and an emerging open one, says Max Sinclair, CEO of AIO visibility startup Azoma AI. This pattern shows up in every major tech shift. Amazon protecting its grip on the market isn't surprising, but it's set to have real consequences. If AI shopping assistants take off, then the likes of Walmart and Target in the U.S. and Currys in the U.K., along with thousands of independent retailers, could suddenly compete with Amazon in a way they never have before, that's for sure. the Amazon paradox. Amazon now faces a paradox, says Sinclair. If it stays closed, it risks ceding the AI agent layer to competitors. But if it opens up, it hands control of the customer relationship to an external platform. So either way, it's going to affect their money. They just got to figure it out. And Amazon's move exposes a far bigger shift happening across retail. I spoke to Jonathan Arena, co-founder of New Generation, the company behind Kepler, which makes retail sites AI shoppable, about what comes next. The simple reality is, if a brand doesn't build an AI-ready version of its site, it won't show up on thousands of AI surfaces, that's true, where people will eventually shop. Arena says the brands investing now will be the ones consumers actually encounter. In other words, if your favorite shop doesn't adapt, your AI assistant may never show it to you. However, the situation with Amazon plays out. The age of AI-driven shopping has already begun. The retailers that adapt will shape what you see, what you compare, and what you buy. The ones that don't will simply disappear from your AI agent's results. AI isn't just changing how we shop, it's changing who controls our entire shopping experience. So, very interesting, and I'm sure more to come in the future. So that's everything that I've got for tonight. And didn't see anything from Ted, so he must be pretty busy. But I'm glad for those of you who stuck with me. I hope you enjoyed the articles. And like I say, every week I try to find articles that you guys will find interesting and you won't see every place else. So, I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend. I hope everybody has a blessed week. And let's always remember we all do better when we love each other. And as I go out every week, I'll say, come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Good night, folks.